All right, hello, Melissa May Dillon here live on my personal page. And I'm super excited because I have a guest who is going to come on live with me. And this is going to be kind of like a coaching call and also tapping into my claircognizance and providing insight to a person who is seeking how to get out of a breaking down to breakthrough cycle. So let me go ahead and tag her to make sure that she can join. There we go. Okay, so I had posted during December to Remember, there was a day that I talked about hitting rock bottom and how we sometimes go in this cycle of like breaking down in order to break through, that we have to like, when we feel like we're stuck in something, or where we get in this cycle where it's like, we're moving forward in our life, things are going well, things are going great, and then we hit a wall where just like something isn't working or it just doesn't feel right, and then like we completely fall apart. And so like we have this magic that's happening, we have things that are growing, we're going in this forward cycle where things feel good, but then something happens, we break down, we become a mess on the floor, and then it's from that point that we have to build it up again. We break through, and then we're going along, and then everything is great, and then we hit that point again, and then break down again. And it's like this never-ending cycle of I have to break down in order to break through. And I had shared this on my YouTube channel, and from my December to Remember days. And then a person, Lisa, had commented like, this is exactly what I am going through. And I invited her to come on live with me to talk about it, to kind of go through a session together where we help her with the fact that she's in the cycle, stuck in the cycle, and that she would like to get out of the cycle. So let me see if I can bring her on. I think she's here now. Here we go. All right, I'm going to try and bring her on right now. Okay, and this is Lisa. All right, Lisa, yay. Hello, Lisa. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. Okay, so I was just kind of introducing that you were experiencing the breaking down cycle. I want to just quickly read the comment that you had left on my YouTube page, and then we'll just kind of start from there, okay?
Okay.
So you had said, I literally just wrote in my journal before I saw this video that I have a pattern of doing well, doing the things I know I need to be done in my daily life to live as the best me, and then I get overwhelmed or experience a situation that feels heavy, sad, whatever, and then I stop doing the things and I have to start over again. After I've let it all build up to a point where I can't take it, I've recognized the pattern. One, celebrate that. Whenever we recognize a pattern that we're going through that's not serving us, that's amazing. Awareness, super huge. I want to celebrate you for having the awareness of that. You said, this is so uncomfortable. Yeah, definitely. I never want to feel like this again. And now I feel almost in a panic to get my life sorted out again. It's overwhelming. And so many things I feel like I have to get done right away. It's daunting and is now feeling paralyzing, and I'm in a freeze state. Knowing I want to change, knowing the things I have to do, don't know where to start because there's so much to get done. So this was the comment you had left on my page, and I invited you to a conversation where we can talk about that. So is there anything you want to add to that, or just how you're feeling about all of it, or if has anything shifted, because that was 8 days ago?
Well, I've experienced a bit of a shift and just started like taking action, which always helps. But I was just stuck in this knowing I have to do all these things around the house, or like making moves with my life or whatever I want to do, and then clearing energy through like cleaning my house. Mm-hmm. So I'm feeling better about that, and I've started to do the things like I wake up to go outside around sunrise or before the sun hits a 30-degree angle to like let it feed information to my brain. And so I started doing some of those things again. And then I let go and just sort of am relaxing into the unknown. And I'm just trying to let things flow into my life and be open to experiences, and knowing that things come to us, downloads or information, or we'll like run into the right people, places, or things. And I've been knowing that, but I don't think that I've been allowing it to flow. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
that's where I am, is practicing like going with the flow and all that.
Yeah, I love that you use the word allowing. Because there's kind of two sides to this thing, because there are the things that we must do, right? We do have to take care of ourselves. We do have to, like, I know for me, I feel so much better when my house is clean and organized. There are things we must do, but then we must take the time to allow, whatever it might be that we need within our life. Can you tell me, like, what is it? Because it looks like you're trying to work up towards something or some situation in your life. Like, where is your life now, and where are you desiring it to be? Or what is your goal or your overall vision?
So I first came across you in the Full-Time Purpose group. And like sometime back in like June, or I don't know, and you came on like as a guest, and then I saw you again with their most recent pitch for their thing. And I am working a 9-to-5 job, which is not aligned with who I am.
Mm-hmm. Rarely are they.
So I've been inconsistent about like trying to make a coaching business, posting videos, that kind of thing. And I would love to work for myself in a way where I can help people more. And I'm like currently working on that. But then I stopped posting videos. I stopped doing all this stuff around the holiday time, which is a super emotional time for me. And it's really like, I have a son that lives in Washington with his dad, who he moved back to Arizona with me and his brothers, and then he was very unhappy. So he moved back there, and I feel stuck in this place of, because he just turned 15, of like, do I need to go back there to be with him just for these last 3 years of like his childhood? And or like, am I in Arizona for a reason? And I honestly hate Washington. So the thought of moving back there is like, I moved back to Arizona to heal my body with the sun. Mm-hmm. And to be around a different type of collective community. And so that I feel stuck on that. That's like the biggest thing. I've been reading
So
this.
let me pause. What
Yeah.
do you want? What do
I want to
you
stay
want?
here. I want to stay here, but I feel like I don't want to put him into like a situation where I'm causing him later to like, oh, my mom wasn't there for me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can tell you, our kids are going to think whatever they're going to want to think. Okay, so I know. Okay, so what you're doing right now, and I've seen this in a lot of people, is you're not answering exactly what you want. You're answering based on what you think is available, or you're thinking like, well, if I make this decision, it'll lead to this, and if I make this decision, it'll lead to that, and I'm not sure which decision to make. I'm not asking you what decision to make. I'm asking you, what do you want? How do you want your life to be when you wake up every day? What do you want to be experiencing in your life? Can you, I know right now you're kind of in the mud. I get it. You're in the mud. You're in this like decision-making field. Like, I don't know what I need to do. I'm worried about my son. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. I got a job. There's very emotional. If you can take a breath and take a step back for a minute and just envision, like, if everything was solved, if everything was resolved, if all the right choices were made, what would my life look like? What would it feel like? So that's what we're going towards, to what do you actually want? Because right now you're trapped in the, I have to make a decision, and those decisions lead to things that I don't know if I want those things, so I can't. You're like, do you see how I'm saying, like, you're kind of stuck in this zone? So just, even if it takes you a minute, like if you need to close your eyes, if you need to tap and tune in, and just like, what do I want for my life? What do I want to be experiencing? Like, take a second and see if you can tap into that.
Okay. Okay. I want peace in
Peace.
my life.
Yes. Peace.
Money freedom.
Yes.
So that's a thing that when I have the money freedom, I will be able to, I could go back and forth.
You
I
can do
could
anything you
go,
want. Yes. Okay. So peace, money, freedom. What else?
um, I want to live my purpose and know, I don't even know if this is possible. Like to have it come to me like so obviously how I can be of service in this world.
Yeah, that is 100% possible. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so you want to be having a positive impact on the planet. You want to have financial freedom and abundance where you don't feel like you're asking money for permission. And you want to have peace in your life. And I imagine you also, when you talk about your son, you want to have very beautiful relationships with the people in your family or whoever else. Okay. So this needs to be your starting point. So it's not, how do I figure out how to get out of the weeds right now? How do I figure out how to get out of the mud? How do I make the right decision? That's a lot of hows. And our job is not the how. Our job is to be madly in love with our life, and just feel so much gratitude for what we have, and then follow the insight and the inspiration that we get from God, from source, from Mother Nature, whatever, feels good to you. So what I would recommend to you right now is every morning you need to tap into this idea. I want to feel peace. I want to feel financial abundance. I want to feel beautiful relationships with anyone in my family. I want to be able to feel the sun on my skin on a normal basis. I want you to figure out the things that are on the other side of getting out of the mud, because you're playing around in the mud. You're constantly in the mud. I got to figure out this. I got to figure out that. How. And this is why you don't feel rested and relaxing, because you're doing hula hoops in your head. Well, if I make this decision, then it'll lead to that, and then it'll lead to that, and then it'll lead to that. But if I make this decision, that will happen, and I don't want that to happen. So maybe I need to make this decision. None of that's serving you. None of that is tapping into the infinite knowledge and wisdom and higher power that is available to you if you were to connect to it. And it sounds like you desire to connect to it, right? Like you want to be, that's another thing you would want, right? Is just this infinite connection to source where you don't feel cut off. And you're never cut, like we ourselves are the ones who cut us off. We're the ones who turn it off, right? All the time that you're spending in the mud, how do I do this? How do I make this decision? How do I not hurt my son? How do I make the best choice here? Where do I need to live? When you're all up in that, that's what's blocking you from being able to just receive the insight and the wisdom and the knowledge and the steps that you need to take. Because here's the thing, like even in my own life, if we try to plan out everything and all the different, okay, so then I'm going to move, and then I'll get this job, and then I'll do this, and then eventually I'll have enough money where I could start my own business, and then I'll do this. Like as soon as we start, if we were to map that out, first of all, most of us spend so much time trying to map it out, we end up doing nothing. So like, yeah, okay, you agree with it. But even if we were to map that out and then you take the first step, it changes everything. It's like the domino effect, the butterfly effect. As soon as you begin to change the circumstances, things change. So even trying to sort out every situation and try to think of every domino, if I make this decision, it'll do this and this and this. If I make this decision, it'll do this and this and this. And then you're like trying to play this chess game of like decisions and consequences that aren't even real. You're formulating all of them in your head, and they're not even real scenarios. You're playing with fake potential scenarios of the limited perspective that your mind can perceive. So rather than doing that, I would focus on your daily life that is available to you right now, because the only thing you have is right now, right now, right now. You don't have all those scenarios. Those are just things that your mind has concocted and created, right? All you have is right now. And the best that you can do is take care of you right now. and allow the inspiration. Like when we open ourselves, when we say, like, when we focus on what it is that we want, you wanted peace, you wanted financial abundance, you wanted beautiful relationships, you like being in the sun. Those are the things that you make your focus. And you, every morning you tap into those things, you visualize those things. Every time that your mind wants to go play in the mud, well, how about this, and need this decision, I need to make that decision, you say, stop, thank you, I need to tap back into, I want peace, I want financial abundance, I want beautiful relationships, I want to feel the sun. You just constantly tap back into that, constantly tap it back into that, because that ultimately is, because again, how do we get anything? You know the rules of manifestation, right? What are the rules of manifestation? I'm sure you can recite that, like almost anybody. What is it?
I mean, ask for it, which we're constantly doing throughout our lives. When we know what we don't want, we know what we do want. So we don't even really need to focus on the asking, then the letting go of it.
Okay.
Let go, let it flow to you.
Okay.
Release resistance.
Really? Okay. Yeah. The two biggest things are for me, like knowing, like seeing it and feeling it. So
right. Yeah.
So see what it is you want to manifest. Visualization is one of the big ones. And then feeling what it is you want. So you're spending a lot of time, the more, like when you're like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What decision should I make? Where should I go? What do I need to do? When you're putting that out, you're going to get that back in. You're going to get more situations to think about. You're going to get more scenarios to run through. You're going to get more, well, what about this and what about that, right? So what you want to be thinking, feeling, and seeing is the manifestation of what it is that you want. And so, like, I want peace. I want financial abundance. I want beautiful relationships. I want to feel the sun on my skin. If those become your focus and you visualize them, and then you begin to feel them. And so you take conscious time to go, what would it feel like to have peace in my life every day? And then you begin to visualize your life. What would it feel like if I had peace in the morning? Oh, it would feel like I could wake up, I can have my morning beverage, I can sit on my couch, I can go in the sun, I can like look out my window, like whatever that feels for you. What would it feel like to have peace in my life when I eat my meals? Right? Like I know, like as a teacher, I used to have to eat my meals in like 5 minutes or less because I had, recess duty. What would it feel like to eat your meals in peace? What would it feel like to cook in peace, cook my meals in peace? What would it feel like to do and serve my purpose on peace? Oh, that was another thing we need to add to your list, is that you're putting a positive impact on the planet. So I want to feel peace. I want to feel financially free. I want beautiful relationships. I want to feel the sun on my skin, and I want to be positively impacting the planet. That becomes your focus. That becomes the main thing in your life that you're like, this is what I'm going after. And then you begin to visualize as much as you can being in that situation and then feeling the feelings of it. So if I can feel peaceful, if I can feel financially abundant, if I can feel that I have beautiful relationships, if I can feel that I am serving my purpose, you're calling it into you so much faster. That's like when your manifestation is like casting out a fishing line and then reeling it to you, and the feeling is the reeling. So the more that I'm feeling, the more I'm pulling it in. So when, instead of thoughts like, if I live here or move there, what will it do with my son? You're going to replace it with thoughts of, I have the most beautiful relationship with my son. My son and I just have the best conversations. We feel so close. And these things may not be your current reality, but everything that is your current reality came from your thoughts. Because I can tell that you've had thoughts in your head about doubting your relationship with your son, doubting the connection with your son. So you've received feedback from him that that's true. So if you can put out thoughts that I have an amazing relationship with my son, we have the best communication, we have the best connection. If you're putting out those thoughts, that's the reality that you begin creating. We create our reality with our thoughts. So your thoughts currently have been doubt, fear, worry, wondering, questioning, and you can shift your thoughts to trusting and creating what it is that you want. So I have the most beautiful relationship with my son. I live my purpose each day. I am positively impacting the planet. And you're shifting your thoughts, and we, by holding that vision, you know, like constantly refocused on that vision. I have a beautiful life. I wake up with the sun. I have a beautiful relationship with my son. I'm financially abundant. I am serving my purpose on the planet, positively impacting the planet. That becomes my big focus. And then each day I focus on each day. So it's like, we got to look at the big picture. The big picture is everything that we just said. I live in peace. I have beautiful relationships. I'm serving my purpose on the planet that feels good to me. I'm financially abundant. I get to feel the sun on my skin. That's your big picture vision. And then to build that big picture vision, you focus on each individual day and each moment within that day. So I start my day, I visualize peace in my life. I visualize what would it feel like to have my coffee in complete peace, or whatever your morning beverage is. I feel complete peace when I do that. And then you go and you do it. You have coffee and you feel peace. And then you say, the job that I'm working. So right now you have a 9 to 5, right? So we have to one, feel gratitude for that. You have a job. Other people don't have jobs. They wish they had jobs. Gratitude, right? So I feel so grateful that I have the ability to bring income into my life. When you feel grateful for what you have, you can receive more. But if you have resistance to your job and what you're doing, you're just going to receive back more resistance, more reasons to hate it. So you're going to focus on everything that you love about it, which is, I'm able to bring in an income. I don't know if you have friends there, that you just focus on aspects that you can appreciate, and then envision having peace at your job. Envision bringing in so much money that you have financial abundance within your job. And then same thing with your son. Instead of putting out the worry, fear, and doubt that the relationship will not go great, or that I need to do this or I need to do that, we have a beautiful relationship. We are deeply connected. It's so wonderful that we have this relationship. It doesn't matter if you're physical or not. Because like there are, for instances, like, you know, people in the military, they've got to be sent away. You know, we can't hold this belief that I must be near my child in order to have a good relationship. You can have a good relationship with your child, whether you're near or far, because sometimes that circumstances just dictate that. So you don't have to be like, I must move close to him. You can still have a beautiful relationship with your child, even if you are distanced from him. But you focus on, we have a beautiful relationship, instead of feeding fear, doubt, and worry. And then so it's like, I have peace in my relationship. And then when it comes to the financial abundance, again, our manifestation is think it, feel it, see it. So the biggest thing about feeling it is, most of us feel the lack of what we want. Like we may want, you know, like you want to be able to freely travel. You want to be able to just book a flight to an airplane without questioning how much money it costs or how much money is in your bank, right? I get that. And so you see the lack of that right now. Well, I can't do that. You're like, I know I could have an amazing relationship if I could fly around and visit all the time and stuff like that. But you're seeing the lack of the money, instead of seeing the fact that you have a phone you can pick up and call them every time. Like you've got to focus on the abundance of what is available to you right now. Like I had a person tell me, like, I have no money. And I was like, you're talking to me on a phone. Phones cost money. You have money. You're sitting on a chair. That chair costs money. You're sitting in a house. That house costs money. Money is all around you. It's all around you. The clothes that you're wearing, you have money. You have makeup on, you have money. So like, when we begin to see that all the things we have are abundance, and it's not just what's in our bank account. Like we can be so abundant even when the bank account is zero. Because if we just look around and see what's available to us, is if we're not naked and on the desert plains all by ourselves, we are abundant, right? We've got clothes, we've got food, we've got housing, we've got TV, we've got phones, we've got internet connection. Like you're talking, where you're in Washington right now? Is that where you're at? Okay, so you're in Arizona, I'm in Illinois. We are like thousands of miles apart, and yet we're talking. I'm seeing your face, you're seeing my face. How abundant is that? And we're putting it out onto the internet. Like so much abundance is right here, right now. So when our mind goes to lack, like I don't have the money in my bank account to just book a flight to go see my son. Well, you know what? I can call him. I can text him. I can send him a video. Like, look at the abundance that is available to me. Because if we go back just a little bit into United American history, like if you were that far away from him, like you would have to send him a snail mail by like some horse guy. Like hopefully he could make it. Like he might get killed along the way. Like you can immediately text your son, I love you. I'm thinking about you. How abundant is that? No, I can't get on a plane right now, but I'm holding the space for that. In the meantime, I will be so utterly grateful that I can just shoot him a text, that he can read that he can see that, and that he knows I'm thinking about him. Look how much abundance I have. So we have to, as much as we can, switch those thoughts over of our relationship is going to suck. It's going to deteriorate because we're far. I don't know if I should move. I need to move. Again, that's just playing in the mud of things that you don't really have control over. And it's like, you know, like any decision you make is going to be a domino effect. So let's make decisions from a place of feeling good rather than making decisions from a place of feeling worry, doubt, and fear. So again, our main focus is that vision you've set for yourself. I want to feel peace. I want to feel financially abundant. I want to have beautiful relationships. I want to be serving the planet with my purpose in a positive way. And I want to feel the sun on me, right? Those are your main things. And you can add anything else to that. Now that we've started scratching the surface of what it is you want, right? Begin holding that as your vision. So that's my vision. Every day I tap into that as best I can. I try to think about it. I try to see it. I try to feel it. Feeling it is most important. So you want to feel peace in your body. You want to feel financially abundant. You want to feel the having the beautiful relationships. And when your mind tries to tell you thoughts, well, you don't have any money in your bank account. Oh my God, look at all the money I do have. Look at this bed I got. Look at these sheets I got. Look at this phone that I have. You know, look at this makeup that I have. You know, like there's so many things that I have, you know, and so I'm going to focus on what I do have. And then then if your thoughts go into, you know, worrying about your son, again, feed the thoughts that are going to help grow you and your son's relationship. We have a beautiful relationship. We are deeply connected. We're able to communicate as often as we want. Like, begin shifting your thoughts. And again, they might not feel real yet, or it's not alive, because you are creating your reality by building those thoughts. What I think in my head now will become my reality. So it's not I'm thinking a lie, it's I'm pre-planning what I want to experience when I make comments like that. I was just listening to a Neville Goddard lesson, and he was talking about this woman who was disconnected from her son. In fact, like, they had not spoken in years, and she wanted to be able to speak to her son. And she was working with Neville, and he asked her, what are you thinking about when you think about your son? Why won't he talk to me? When will we talk? What do I need to do to fix it? And he was like, honey, you thinking about those thoughts will just bring more situations to you that make you feel like, how do I fix it? What do I need to do? You know, when will we get better? He's like, I want you to change your thoughts to, I have an amazing relationship with my son. It's so incredible that we get to talk as much as we do. We feel so deeply connected. And she goes, but that's not true. And he's like, do you want it to be true? Because if that's what you're putting out, that's what you're going to receive. So she shifted her thoughts in her head about what she wants the relationship with her son to be like. We have an amazing relationship. We get to talk every day. We feel deeply connected. Within 2 weeks, they were on the phone and visiting each other in person. Because what we put in our heads, what we are shooting out as thoughts in our head, become the reality in which we experience it. And it's not a lie. It's, I am building my future. Your thoughts are building your future. It's building what you're going to experience. So the more thoughts that you can put out into your awareness about what it is you do want to experience, the more you end up experiencing that. The more you end up, you know, feeling that. So how is this feeling?
Good. I think that is the part that I've been missing. We do have a really good relationship and a close relationship, and I express that to him often, and his appreciation for me, and he does the same. And so I think I have up until now been living out of fear of how I might be messing him up, or like I might be messing. And I'm very cognizant throughout my day of making sure that I'm in charge of my feelings and emotions, and not letting like outside sources affect that. So like, somebody cuts you off in traffic, who cares? They're in a hurry. I don't know why, and that's fine. And like, somebody is rude to me at work, well, I sort of, oh, they must be having a bad day and this has nothing to do with me. So I've been able to, I gotta let my dog out. Go ahead. So I've been able to like, I don't want to say master that because we're always learning and growing.
Yeah,
but
no, I get it. Mm-hmm.
But I think what the missing piece has been is that's where I stop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, so I'm like really good at not letting other people affect my energy, and knowing what I put out there is what I bring back. I've had obviously like money blocks and stuff like that. So I love what you said about all of the abundance all around, and because it's really easy to get stuck in the like, I don't have it, I can't go see him, or like I would love to buy this thing and I'm not able to right now. But yeah, just the practice of the feeling. So I've been aware not to feel like, to let emotions flow through me and to not get stuck in a bad space. But as far as like other people go, but then I've never taken it as far as waking up in the morning, and even though I know this to be a thing, and like really feeling that feeling like it's, so I think that is like the missing piece for me.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. And it's and that's amazing. Like, you already have a beautiful connection with your son. So you just get to keep focusing on that and don't add in the things that could deteriorate that or ruin that, or like, the worries. Worrying is just negative imagination. So continue to build up the fact that you are closely connected, that you do have that amazing relationship. That's awesome. Yeah. And so much of being when we are the conscious creators of our reality, we can generate the feelings. We can consciously choose to say, I want to feel this way, and then focus on that feeling and feel that feeling and harness that feeling. And if we need to do visuals for that feeling, if we need to see something, like, you can have a picture created of yourself, doing your most amazing life, and like, imagine yourself being utterly financially abundant. Imagine yourself in that peaceful, with the beautiful relationships, with the sun on your skin. What would that look like? If you could create a visual image of that and then use that to tap into. Another thing you could do is like a scent anchor, where when you feel that feeling, you smell a certain scent, and then you have that scent with you throughout the day, so that if you ever go off track of that feeling, you could smell it again, tap back into that feeling. So you have this practice of, because most of us, our feelings, we're not taught how to manage our feelings, and most of the time we feel based on circumstances. This happened to me, somebody cut me off, somebody yelled at me, somebody, whatever happened. So you've gotten to the point where you're able to say, no, thank you. But now you can shift to the point where you say, this is what I want to feel. So instead of someone triggering something that makes me feel something, can I trigger my own feeling? Can I activate a feeling within my body that I want to be experiencing, and then put that out into the universe? Because the universe is not actually good or bad, or like it's just gonna amplify whatever we're feeling, right? So when we say, if you put out fear, doubt, and worry, you're gonna get more of that back. If you put out excitement, positivity, and joy, you're gonna get more of that back. The universe just amplifies whatever it is we're putting out. So we intentionally choose to say, I feel at peace. I feel financially abundant. I feel deeply connected with the people in my life. And I build that feeling, and I build that feeling, and I build that feeling by envisioning it, by practicing feeling it, by seeing an image, by having whatever it is, you tap into that feeling, and then you're generating that feeling and you're putting it out, and then the universe will begin to amplify it. We'll be able to create more and more situations in which that becomes the default setting, and you don't even have to generate it anymore. It now just is your life. But in order for it to be your life, you have to take the conscious control and generate those feelings, generate, the thoughts and the feelings of having all of those things: financially abundant, deeply connected relationships, fulfilling your purpose and your passion, and feeling the warm sun on your skin, right? That's an easy one that you could probably tap into, all the time, living in Arizona. I think you're in Arizona. Yeah, you're in Arizona. He's in Washington. I missed which. Okay, got it. All right. Yeah, no, I would, yeah, I definitely understand the desire to live in the sun versus not the sun. That can definitely impact a person. Some of us are meant to live in colder, wet places, but I have gone through periods of time where I feel so depressed if I do not have sun. Like I have to be in the sun. I have to get that warm touch on my skin. So yeah, that's important too. But like your subconscious doesn't know what's real or not real. So even if you were in a place where there's no sun, if you were to visualize it and feel the feelings of having it, it gives the same effect to your body. I mean, you can't really fully replace the sun, but that is one little trick you can do to help out a little bit. Okay, so how are you feeling now, and what steps are you going to take? Starting tomorrow, today, what are you going to do?
Well, I already journal every morning while I'm having my coffee. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to set my feelings, intentions for the day and for the moment. And because I've gotten so good at making sure that I know how I'm feeling, I'm going to now, so it went from negative feelings to being like, no, that's not me, no thanks, to now taking the next step to, okay, but how would I love to feel? And to really feel that, I use this all the time, every day.
Perfect.
So I'm going to use
that one.
So I'm going to use this scent, like you suggested, to feel it, smell it, and then throughout my day use this, and to just take it to the next step to really create the feelings that I do want to feel. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, perfect. Now, in terms of, and that's exactly, yes, hold the vision, tap into those feelings, take the conscious control, instead of just butting out feelings you don't want, generate the feeling you do want, putting that out there, building it, growing it, cultivating that, because whatever you water, whatever you focus on will grow. And so what do I want to feel, and start feeding that. Now, in terms of living out your passion, your purpose full time, and being able to generate financial abundance from that, this is where, when I do all the things I just planned, which is feeling the feelings that I want to feel, it's going to come to you. There's going to be some sort of insight. There's going to be some sort of person you meet. There's going to be some book that you read that's just going to be like, I see it. I know what it is. I feel it. And then you just follow the hits. Okay, so just follow the insight, follow the inspiration, follow the trail of what works for you, of what makes sense. It'll come to you. So just trust that. So just be like, I am open, and you can say it. I am open and ready to receive the knowledge, the insight, the wisdom for how I can live my purpose on the planet in a positive way that impacts the planet. Okay, so it will come. So as you begin putting out those feelings of, I live in peace, I'm financially abundant, I have amazing relationships, it will come to you, it will show up. And when it does, you water it, you cultivate it, you do the inspired action, you take the inspired steps. And I will tell you, when it started happening for me, some of the first few ideas that came through felt really good. But they were tied to the job that I had. But I worked them, I went into them, and it began to unlock more and more ideas, more and more potential possibilities. Because if it throws out an idea super far, where I was at my job at the time, so I was a corporate worker, I was at my job. If I was in that position and it told me you're going to be selling courses online and making $100,000 a month, I would have been like, what? There's no way. That's not, I'm at a corporate job. What are you talking about? It couldn't give me the vision of where I would end up being. It gave me little ideas that built my trust. It gave me little ideas that, because some of the first ideas that I had before I started, so you're not in the insurance exam queen world, but that's how I started my business. I started a YouTube channel teaching people how to pass the insurance exam. That's what I was doing at my corporate job. And I knew I was a great teacher. I knew that I was one of the best. I was the most requested. But really trusting in my confidence and ability to do that on a large scale, or just owning it fully, was not available to me. And I had to get little insights and little hits of inspiration that woke me up to that, that made me wow, you are one of the best instructors. You're the GOAT of pre-licensing. You know, I had to build my confidence in that. And so I got these little different ideas, and I would run with them, and I would share them with my boss, and we'd talk about them, and we'd build them up. And over time, by following those hits, by following that inspiration, it led to the idea that I would have a YouTube channel. And it led to, and I got into the full-time purpose. Like, I signed up for the full-time purpose. I got the program. I was going through it. That was what gave me the permission to start my YouTube channel. And then I just kept following the hits, and I just kept following the inspiration. So it's going to be like breadcrumb, breadcrumb, breadcrumb before you get to the loaf. But trust, the loaf is there, right? I literally 3 years today is my anniversary of starting the Insurance Exam Queen. Like, literally today, 3 years ago, I started the Insurance Exam Queen channel. But it's not like I just knew the very first thing was I'm going to have a channel. It was more like, what if you consulted with companies and helped them create their program? Yeah, I could definitely do that. What if you did this? Like, oh, I can do that. Like, I got these ideas and inspirations that just basically just built up my confidence. And then from there, the idea came about the YouTube channel. So what I'm wanting to share with you is, like, you may get hits of inspiration, follow them, act upon them, and it will lead to the ultimate thing of what you want to be doing. But the goal here is that you're amplifying the feelings of having excitement, of doing your purpose and your passion. So it's like, when we're not aligned, because right now you're out of alignment a little bit, right? Like, you're working a 9 to 5 that you don't love, that you don't enjoy. So your alignment is like somewhere in a different direction. So there's going to be, you know, to go from here to here, right? You got to go here, 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 here before you get there, right? And so along this path, as you're moving into alignment, you're building up your excitement, your confidence, and everything it is that you need to get to over here, okay? So this is not necessarily a boom, immediate, here you are. It's going to be a journey of till you get to this point. And this is all about building up the feelings, building up the excitement of what it is that you want. And the universe will always amplify whatever it is you're feeling. So, like, if you're like, I have a 9 to 5, and because, like, one of the first things that can start getting you into alignment is, let's say they offer you a promotion. Well, boom, now I'm in slightly more alignment towards over here because now I'm making more money, right? And then maybe they give you a different position, and then I'm a little bit more in alignment. And then you get this idea and you get a little bit more in alignment. And as you're getting more aligned, the feelings begin to grow. And then the universe amplifies those feelings, and you can get closer and closer to where it is that you actually want to be aligned. So just allow the journey to unflow. Allow the insight to come. Allow the inspiration to come to you. And don't feel like you have to push it or rush it, right? As long as I'm enjoying my life as it is now, as long as I'm tapping into peace, as long as I'm tapping into the financial abundance of what is available to me right now, as long as I am focusing on having beautiful relationships, the insight that I need, the networking that I need, the idea that I need, the people that I need will show up in the most wonderful, cool, awesome, and amazing ways. And it won't be long before I'm on my aligned path. Okay? How's that feel?
Good. I think I've been focused so much on, like, here's where I am, here's where I want to be, and I'm not there. And so there's nothing in between. And I do have an idea for something. And then I met someone who was like, oh, like, I actually do, like, I could help you figure that out, like, without me having to figure out, like, how do I use, like, Spotify, and how do I do this? And then I was like, oh, I really want to do this. And like 5 minutes later, he sent me a logo and was like, here's a logo. This is just an idea, but, like, with the name of the thing that I wanted to do with my name on it. And I was like, it was like gold and shiny. And I was like, you just embodied me in a logo.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I think the knowing what I need to focus, or I don't like the word need, knowing what I would like to focus on now, like the 5 things that you've been listing for how I told you I would like my life to be, and just working on that every day, is giving me a direction to take. And then, like, because I think I do feel most days at peace.
Good.
I think that's, so I was like, okay, now that you sort of laid it out like that, I'm like, okay, so that one's good. now I need to work on that still every day, but now I'm going to move on to like the next thing and about like financial abundance, but at the same time focus my energy throughout all of the different things, but then maybe have a direct focus on sort of like mastering each step of the way.
Yeah.
And just being open to taking taking the action when I have the inspiration.
Yes.
That's also where I've been stopping, is like I will have like an inspired idea and then I'll just be like, oh, well, that's a cool idea.
No, immediately even if the action is writing it down. Like a lot of times our brain, because this is where our brain causes us problems, is we'll go, so let's say you're like, I have an idea for a podcast. And then instead of sitting down and starting writing it out or going into it and be like, well, you don't have the right equipment. You don't have this. You don't have that. Oh, nobody's going to listen to that. Okay, fine, never mind. And we kill it before it even begins to ember, right? And it's so funny that you mentioned the logo thing, because that's what really, it was in Full-Time Purpose that I had met another person, Cartoon Christopher, and he made a logo for me, and it just like lit me up, and like no other way. I was like, it's real, it's right here. This is my business. Here it is. And so it was so amazing for me to see that logo. And I really didn't do too much in advance to start the insurance exam, because it was just put a video, put it on YouTube, let's go, So we don't have to do 1,000 million steps before we take action, but the action will provide clarity. The action always provides clarity, and we have to take the action to get the clarity. And so begin running with the idea. I had 1,000 ideas, and I just began writing. There was one point where I wrote this in my book. I was going to be called the Cheetah Chick. Like I was still teaching at the corporate company, and so in my mind I couldn't teach the insurance exam online because I was working my corporate job, right? But I knew I wanted to have a YouTube channel. So I was like, I'm going to be the cheetah chick, and because I loved cheetah print, and I was like, I wear cheetah print all the time, and I'm like, I'm going to teach people about the cheat codes of life, and I'm like, I'm going to make this whole thing about your cheat codes, the cheetah chick, and I wrote it all out in a journal that was cheetah print. And I'm like, I wrote all this out, I had all this stuff. But the fact that I took action, even though nothing ever came of the cheetah chick, it got me rolling. It got me into this idea of helping people online. It got me into the space of, yes, I could be on camera. Yes, I can be doing these things. So it's not to say that every idea is the thing. But when I get the idea and I take action on it, it opens me up to more ideas. Because again, the universe will start, it'll try to give us something that we feel a little bit safe with. And if we can play around in that area, then it says, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Well, what about this? And as long as you're taking action, it continues to open up. It continues to expand, the horizon of what's available to you. Because again, if it just says, yeah, if someone told me like 3 years from now, like before I had the idea, like before I was like insurance exam, like you're going to be on YouTube, you're going to have all these subscribers, you're going to be making $100,000 a month. I'd be like, but how? Like what? Like this is nuts. Like it had to slowly come to me piece by piece before I had the thing. But I was taking action. I was doing all the stuff. I mean, I started a page called Next Level Bliss. I had all kinds of stuff that I was, doing and fucking around with. But because I did that, it led to what it is I really wanted to do. So and it paved the pathway for that. So just keep playing. It's all about playing. Amp up the imagination. What if I do this thing and it takes off? What if, instead of what it won't work, it's not going to work, no one will want that. Instead of the what if negatively, what if positively? Switch that imagination over into the positive.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Well, I'm going to check in and see how you're doing in a little bit. But again, make your focus. I feel peace. I financially abundant. I have amazing relationships. I feel the sun on my skin. I'm living out my purpose and my passion. Constantly shooting out, generating the feelings of having all of that, and just taking it day by day and allowing the inspiration and the insight to come in.
Okay, this is so helpful. Thank you.
You are so welcome. I'm so glad you dropped that comment on my YouTube channel, and thank you for coming on live to my Facebook page. This has been awesome.
Yeah. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.